Hello? Yeah, we're good to go finally. So we had unfortunately some issues with the cable over here, so that's why my colleague Barry is now in the back and he's going to present the demo. So we'll just have a bit of an improvisation over here. First of all, welcome to every one of you. My name is Joey van der Watering. I'm a senior security solutions engineer here at Rapid7. And today I'll be showing you what it's like to be under attack, how an attack may start from a compromised email account and then hit one of your endpoints. I'll be doing this together with my colleague Barry, who unfortunately doesn't have any microphone, but he's basically having the same role as I have. All right. For those of you who are unaware of who Rapid7 is or what we do, we are one of the older cybersecurity organizations out there. We started off about 25 years ago from Boston in the United States, and the company name is the direct metro connection between Boston and New York. That's what we're named after. You may not know us from our managed SOC service or SIEM solution inside IDR, but you probably know us from Inside VM, the vulnerability management solution. And if you don't know us from the vulnerability management solution, then you probably know us because of our open source research projects, such as Metasploit and Project Lorelei. Today we have a global footprint. We sell software or managed SOC services to about 144 countries. And we have, I believe now, 23 offices globally. If you look at our product portfolio, I already mentioned we started off about 20 years ago with a vulnerability management solution, which is now part of our exposure management solution. So we don't just look at vulnerabilities, we also look at misconfigurations and threats that occur on the public-facing infrastructure. On the right-hand side, we then have our detection and response capabilities. That includes our SIEM and XDR solution, but also deep and dark web monitoring. So if we see any threats occurring there, we're also able to intervene and mitigate that for you. All of the data that we collect is captured in our Rapid7 data lake, the Rapid7 AI engine. And fundamental to our proposition is the belief that we don't need to rely on just Rapid7 data. We are a technology agnostic platform. That means that any type of other technologies, even other security vendors you have out there, can be fed into that data lake, and we can leverage that information to build our analysis on top of that. Which is especially true for most of you, I guess, who have a range of different technologies incorporated in the organization today. When we look at what we're going to show to you today is what we call Rapid7 detection and response, external threat intelligence, and managed digital risk protection. That means that if we look at a traditional SIEM solution, we often rely on technologies like EDR, network detection and response, AI and behavioral analysis. But if we extend that analysis to the external domain, so clear, dark, and deep web, we may be able to identify threats on an earlier stage and already intervene at that stage before it even hits your own infrastructure. And that way we can mitigate all of the risks associated with such an attack at an earlier stage. With our managed detection and response service and managed digital risk protection add-on on top of that, we're able to monitor against credential leakage, data leakage, potential phishing detections at an early stage. And if anything is stolen, we can already see that on the dark web and buy those files and data for you over there. So today, the scenario that we're going to walk through is we have a spare phishing link. We're taking BMW, a reseller, as an example of this. By no means this is a real example. It's just an arbitrary decision to do it this way. And then from that spare phishing link, the user clicks on it, and we see a command being executed on the endpoint itself. After that, we intervene and we perform an additional analysis on top of that, and then we go back into the public-facing spare phishing link, and we take that down too. Usually, there are about 3 people involved in this process. So at every stage of a potential attack or the communication between Rapid7 and the customer is a customer advisor. The customer advisor is practically an extension of your own SOC team. So the customer advisor knows both the Rapid7 deployment and your organization. So whenever we identify something, that customer advisor is going to translate that to your business context, so you understand what's going on within your organization in terms of the detections that we've made. On top of that, we have various analysts. So we have a threat command analyst or a threat intel analyst, which Barry should have played today. And next to that, we have our SIEM SOC analysts, MDR analysts as we call them, which I will be playing today. As we go through these various phases of this potential attack, different people are involved and different people will take actions within the various products that are involved from a Rapid7 perspective. So first of all, with Rapid7 managed digital risk protection, we rely on what we call our product threat command, which is practically dark and deep web monitoring. With Rapid7 Threat Command, we rely on both a number of proprietary algorithms that scrape dark, deep, and clear web. And on top of that, we have analysts triaging all of the results that come out of there. So as you may know, dark web is practically impossible to scrape, so you will need analysts monitoring the dark web on a continuous basis in order to get any relevant data out of there. This is what it looks like. So at Rapid7 Threat Command, we split out various risks across dark, clear, and deep web, such as when we identify suspected phishing links. So here we see a web page built for a BMW reseller with a clear login portal. As we can obtain from the URL, it's called bmw4.com, which is not an official BMW domain at this stage. As a result, our analysts have provided a description and a recommendation, and from the threat intel analysis, we can then also see the threat actor responsible for creating this infrastructure on the clear web. Thank you, Barry. In case there are any related file hashes, other types of document that we can relate to this particular attacker group, we will highlight that in a graph structure over here. Now, because we've identified this, it is marked as a potential risk for the organization. And in case there would be any network traffic related to this particular domain, we should be seeing that in the SIEM solution right now, because we are aware that this domain exists and could be a potential threat. So at this stage, our analysts have marked it as a potential risk. It is pushed out as an alert to our SIEM and XDR solution inside IDR, where we see an investigation occurring. So here our MDR analyst is going to investigate, have we seen in the past X time some activity related to this particular domain? The threat intel analyst has put this alert into my name, so I know that this is something I need to research. And when I go into the investigation details, I can obtain all of the information that I saw in the previous dashboard. It's good to highlight too that every single Rapid7 customer that makes use of the managed SOC service has full access to this entire portal. So also for you as potential Rapid7 customers, you will be able to see and read all of the information that the analysts share within this platform. If we click on alert details here, then what we see is the evidence on the left-hand side. So here we should see the BMW4 domain ever again. On the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, we see the detection rule or the use case that we have built in out of the box on top of this platform. Out of the box, Rapid7 Inside IDR comes with about 9,000 different use cases that we constantly update and monitor on relevance on any given point in time. So that means as a customer of our managed SOC service, you will benefit from all the threat intel that we gather throughout our customer base. Now from here you can see where this particular alert was created. We can also see associated devices. So here we see actually one particular device having reached out to this domain. So that could be a potential risk, right? And because we see this over here, Now, what I can do as an MDR analyst is escalate this particular issue for our incident response team to further investigate. On top of that, I can look at the DNS queries to obtain additional information as to when was this particular domain accessed and where was it accessed from. So I can query the DNS logs from here. All right. Now, having seen that this is part or this was observed in our network, I can see one device has reached out to this domain. I will then escalate it for our incident response team. Rapid7's agent, the Rapid7 Insight agent, has a multitude of functionalities. So we use it as a vulnerability management agent. We use it as a full-fledged EDR solution. And on top of that, we incorporate Velociraptor, the most common known incident response tooling, out of the box within this agent. And that means from this point on, I can do investigations into this device and go into the underlying aspects of every single device to see if there's any additional information that we can see. So here if we go to users, administrators, downloads. There's a query that we have run before this session today because the Wi-Fi is a bit slow, so it may take a bit of time before it actually loads the information. It's quite a heavy operation to do. Where we again have looked for any compromised details around BMW4, if any payload was executed after accessing this particular domain, as an example. When we look at the artifacts or the use case that we look for here, we can see associated information with this particular domain. So here we see the DNS cache. And here in the notebook, we can see BMW4 ever again. Now from here, we may obtain additional details. So here we can see that the BMW4 domain was actually associated with the Cobalt group. And because it is associated with the Cobalt group, we may expect that a Cobalt strike has happened on this device. So we're going to look for proof that Cobalt strike was executed here, which we can actually see from the PowerShell command over here. So here we see a network activity towards a domain that is associated with the Cobalt group. So we know that actually command and control activity has taken place here. And in this case, at this point, we know it's an actual threat for our organization. And therefore, with the EDR solution that we have in place, we would like to take action. So now from the Insight IDR solution again, we have confirmed that we are under attack at this point. Here we can go into the actions page and we can take actions using either the Rapid7 Insight IDR, the Rapid7 agent, or any existing EDR solution that we have deployed onto our machine. In case you're running Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, CrowdStrike as an example, we can leverage that agent instead of our own Insight agent to put the device into quarantine. After having taken manual action on top of this device, we can then close the incident and go back to our threat command environment, so our clear, dark, and deep monitoring, to actually mitigate the issue from the get-go. This page still exists. It could be potentially a threat in the future too, so therefore we would like to perform a notice and takedown request. In that case, what we do is we reach out to the hosting provider of this particular domain and provide details to this hosting provider that the domain that we observe over here in the web page we observe over here is malicious and we would like it to take down. Rapid7 has very good relationships with many of the hosting providers, and that ensures that within typically a time frame of 1 to 3 days, with about an 85% success rate, we're able to take down any malicious domain from the public internet. So in here, you can click on Ask an Analyst. You can be in direct touch with one of our analysts, or you can immediately click the remediation button. The main difference between the two is that you can discuss with the analyst if it's even worth pursuing the action and providing all of the details. If you click the remediation button, you will just go straight into the section where you have to provide the details to perform the notice and takedown service. So here on the right-hand side, you can see the chat from a historical perspective. What have we asked from you? What will we do from a Rapid7 perspective? And once we successfully have taken down this domain through our request, we will then update that again to you. So now you can see from A to Z how we have stopped, how we have identified, stopped, and mitigated an attack, not just for ourselves, but for all of the employees or the wider ecosystem that are related or doing business with BMW. Thank you for your time. If there are any questions, feel free to ask them.